beginning, there was Alien.
I think they thought they were going to make a sci-fi with a monster in some cardboard box tunnels.
Originally, it had been an all-male story, and that they'd kind of arbitrarily just said, well, let's take the lead, make her a woman, because no one will expect that to happen.
You never had a real idea of what the whole monster looked like.
You began to see another world, another, oh, well, a nightmare, a living nightmare in front of you.
Move! Get out of there!
Why'd you move? Move now! Get out! Oh.
Then came aliens.
Look, I'm telling you, there's something moving and it ain't us.
There's something very very deep-rooted psychological feeling about this monster. It's a fear that's almost primordial.
The sight of that facehugger just scampering towards Sigourney was really frightening, even as an actor.
Fear is a very strong reaction. It makes people realize that they're alive.
To me, the ultimate scene is when the cargo bay door opens, Sigourney is in the power loader, and the queen alien is threatening the little girl, Newt.
Get away from her, you bitch!
The Queen was a living work of art that performed. She was a state-of-the-art puppet.
I didn't want to be in a science fiction picture, but I thought, God, you know, this is a really interesting woman. I've never seen a woman in a picture like this.
The bottom line is you're there to scare the living daylights out of the audience.
Outside London, on the lot of world-famous Pinewood Studios, Sigourney Weaver, director David Fincher, and crew worked toward completion of the new movie that would take an already classic series to yet another level. The movie is Alien 3, and in the tradition of its two highly successful predecessors, Alien and Aliens, it's making the next leap in the science fiction genre.
Hey, Frank! Let's go! Let's go! Wait!
Reprising her role as Officer Ellen Ripley, Sigourney Weaver prepares once again to face the alien.
She lands on a little planet that's a former prison, and she's rescued, but the people that she's escaped with have not survived. So essentially she's to begin all over again.
In Alien 3, Sigourney Weaver plays against a backdrop of all-male characters, some not so happy to see her.
This is an abandoned maximum security prison. All the inhabitants of this place are sort of the wretched of the universe.
What's her medical status?
She doesn't seem too badly damaged. She's unconscious. I can't give you a more specific diagnosis at the moment.
Will she live?
I would think so.
I'm a prison doctor with a past of alcohol and drug abuse, for which I served my time. And now I'm on the staff, because basically nobody would employ me anywhere else. Into our environment comes a woman, doing and saying some very strange things. So that's intriguing.
Look, I'm on your side. I want to help, but I need to know what's going on. or what you think is going on.
If you really want to help, find me a computer with audio capability so I can access this flight recorder.
We don't have anything like that here.
Lance Henriksen from Aliens returns in his role as Bishop, the android.
How are you feeling?
My legs hurt.
Listen, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Just a glorified toaster.
I play Superintendent Andrews, who's in charge of the Weyland-Yutani Work Correctional Unit on Fury 161, which is the name of this planet. Let me see if I have this correct, Lieutenant. It's an 8-foot creature of some kind with acid for blood, and it arrived on your spaceship. It kills on sight and is generally unpleasant. And of course, you expect me to accept all this, your word.
No, I don't expect anything.
Quite a story, Mr. Aaron. Right, sir. It's a beauty.
Ralph Brown plays Assistant Superintendent Aaron, nicknamed 85.
So, David, yeah, you can get these drums organised and right 85. And okay with that.
85 thing.
A couple of us sneaked a look at his personnel file the day he arrived. It's his IQ.
He doesn't really necessarily believe her. He thinks she's being a bit paranoid now. Maybe she's some sort of, intergalactic terrorist anyway who's trying to destroy their company.
I'm trying to find out why we crashed. And I'm tortured by the idea, it may be paranoia or not, I don't know, that we might have brought an alien with us.
We have to do an autopsy. I told you, we have to make sure how she died.
It is Ripley's story. She's a classic heroine, and she really pulled it off. I mean, it was her. The first one was kind of her debut, but the second one, a lot of people don't remember that she was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress.
Well, I bet Casey doesn't have scary dreams. Let's take a look. No, nothing bad in there. See? Maybe you could just try to be like her, huh?
Ripley, she doesn't have bad dreams because she's just a piece of plastic.
Right. I'm sorry.
You think, well, okay, here's Ripley again fighting the alien. But you're going to be swept away by Ripley in this film, even more so than the first two.
And you watch some of the playbacks on the video and they think, Jesus, she's got a lot of talent and a technique.
I think she was always clearly defined as being someone with a slight, initially, superiority complex, who then, has to grasp and grapple with reality and survival.
I don't think of her as this brave, strong person. I think that women in general are incredibly strong. I just think of her as an ordinary person who is thrust into these extraordinary circumstances.
From the alien spaceship in the first movie to the nest on planet LB-426 in the second movie, artist H.R. Giger has redefined the look of the future.
The sets themselves were a recreation, pretty much, of Giger's artwork, his mind, his vision.
My paintings always look like blanks for three-dimensional things. So it was, in a way, close to do something for a movie. And I think the movie this century is more important than paintings.
To me, the anchor to all the three movies is Giger. I honestly believe that a little bit of Giger will transform you inside.
Well, I think each film of the Alien series has not been what people think the future's going to be. I mean, after 2001, everyone thought everything was going to be like that, and Ridley, in fact, made it sort of down and dirty. And Cameron kept to that tradition to a certain extent. The roughness of space.
Famed British production designer Norman Reynolds provides the design expertise to the sets of Alien 3.
This set really has evolved over a period of time. It's in the future, yet it has a lot of the present and some of the past in it too. The trick, I think, really for me, or the difficulty has been, which is part of this challenge, is to make the thing look interesting, not overtly sort of science fiction, but to give it a look of its own. One of David's thoughts was, what he was looking for was something where you throw in a bucket of water and just hose the place down, the entire planet.
It seems that it's kind of consistent with the other two in that it's, you know, uncomfortable and dark and claustrophobic, and, you know, there's kind of, you know, the same kind of motif, like, you know, liquid and acid and, you know, hostile.
This movie is so gothic in terms of the setting, the sets. This is the most gothic place I've ever been. I've never seen anything like the sets.
This set here is the ventilation shaft set. And this is the alien seems to like getting down in these little corridors and ductings and hiding away.
Anyone who has anything to do with that particular scene needs a storyboard. It's a way of communicating to everybody what the director's wishes are.
Maggie! You won!
The unique visual style in the settings of all three Alien movies certainly changed the look of science fiction forever, but the most unforgettable contribution to the nightmares of the audience is its namesake. H.R. Giger's futuristic lithographs of a biomechanical creature were just the inspiration director Ridley Scott needed for Alien.
His whole idea was that the thing had such a short life, and it would get darker. The skin would start to get darker as it progressed because it was bruising. And that's why its obsession with having to lay its seed so that it could reproduce, because it knew that it wouldn't have a long enough lifespan.
Director Jim Cameron and producer Gail Ann Hurd had a different approach in Alien.
We came up with the idea that it could be analogous to a termite or a bee colony or hive. And that allowed for the fact that there could be not only a life cycle that had 3 different factors, but also the idea that there was the biggest, baddest alien of all was the Queen Mother.
Now in Alien 3, David Fincher and Sigourney Weaver have the chance to further the evolution of the alien and come up with new ways to terrorize and thrill alien fans.
So I wanted to go back to the mystery of having one alien, which Fincher had already decided to do, but he did want a creature that we'd never seen before. This thing that moves so fast and is so voracious and destructive. It was just blinding.
Special effects designers Alec Gillis and Tom Woodruff, along with visual effects creator Richard Edlund, worked closely with David Fincher to bring the next generation alien to life.
Giger designed the alien for the first picture. It underwent a little bit of a transformation when Cameron did Aliens. And now Fincher doing Alien 3, it underwent yet another little transformation.
He kept referring to it as a freight train crossed with a Jaguar. You know, it's just something that was just